Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up a Mazda MX-5 that I bought from a YouTube viewer for just £1,800. It's a 2006, I know it's done just shy of 100,000 miles and it's in that electric blue colour, which is great on these. They're really good cars, the MX-5. Whenever I'm offered one, I always try and buy it, especially at this price point. They're just guaranteed sellers. In fact, the last time I had one of these, that was a 2006. I took it in part exchange and I think I gave £2,000 for it, or 2,200. That had only done about 75,000 miles, and it sold before I even had time to advertise it. It was parked on the forecourt, hadn't even been washed, and then somebody was on the lunch break from their offices in the village, wandered onto the forecourt just to have a look, saw it and bought it straight away. I think it sold for about £3,500 or maybe even £4,000, so it was quite a good deal. As bulletproof as they are, I mean the engine and gearboxes can run forever. There's one now actually. They are prone to rust, so I'm hoping this one I've bought doesn't have a rotten chassis. Otherwise, there's my profit gone out the window. I agreed to buy this last week from a YouTube viewer called Saul, and he was based down in, where was he now? Herefordshire? Somewhere like that. So my transport company went down to collect it, and then they dropped it this morning on my car park, so I haven't actually seen it yet. I've seen photographs of it, and it all looks quite good, but it's hard to tell from a photo, isn't it? Anybody can take a good photograph these days. The cost of the transport was about £280, so this car already owes me just over £2,000, but I'm hoping I can give it a quick service, MOT, give it a clean, and then it should be worth £3,500, who knows. Before I agreed to buy it, I did do a vehicle history check using Car Vertical, and it all checked out fine. And it's really easy to do, by the way, and I urge you to do one of these before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg, and then check vehicle. It's a really thorough check, this. It checks hundreds of millions of cars across dozens of countries' databases. As you can see, this one's all clear, so it's never been stolen, never been written off, never had a mileage rollback, and there's no outstanding finance, so we're all good. If you'd like to do one of these checks for yourself and you want to save 10%, then use my promo code HIGHPEAK, or alternatively, click the link below in the video description. Right, oh look at that, old MGB. Right, let's go and have a look at this MX-5. I'll see you there. Well, we're here, and I can't see it anywhere, unless someone's pinched it. Oh no, there we go, there it is. What a cracking colour blue that is. I think that would look good on any car. We've got rear parking sensors. I'd forgotten about this. We've got a private plate, which he wasn't bothered about. He said that it came with it when he bought it and he wasn't particularly bothered, so I might take that off and try and sell it. Slight little curbing mark to the rear wheel there, little dent on the door. More curb damage to the front wheel, that might want refurbing. That looks quite tidy, you know. Very tidy. I love these little cars, they're just great value for money. Right, let's go and have a look around it. Right, then which key is it now? Oh, that one. Right, that's the only negative really so far, or the first negative, hopefully the last. We've only got one key. I do love driving this old S-Class, you know. Bit of class, isn't it? Oh, that isn't great parking on my part, is it that? Anyway, so we've got twin exhausts. My remote locking works, that's a good sign. Spotted a little bit of rust there on the rear wheel arch, but not bad, is it, for an 06 car? What's the tyre? We've got an Accelera. I think that's Halford's, isn't it? The back plates look a bit ropey, don't they? But actual brake discs don't have too much of a lip. Quite straight on the panels there. A little bit of lacquer peel there. We've got a Yokohama on the front on about 5mm, and the brake discs not lipped, but again the back plate looks a bit ropey, looks a bit ripe. Moving around the front, it was supplied by Imperial Car Sales, not sure where they are. Headlamps look good, very nice. Nice little scoop there in the bonnet. Have we got another Yokohama? We do indeed, on 5mm. Little tiny bit of corrosion there, but not too bad at all. Not bad. I think that wing has been painted. You can see some runs in that. That's had paint. There's a dent there that I think will pop out. Looks like someone's opened the door into it in a supermarket. Have we got a matching Accelera? We do. Right, so we've got the same tyres on the front axle as the back. That could do with a refurb, that wheel. A little bit of corrosion on the arch there, but not too bad. Don't think it's had paint on that rear quarter. It's just that front wing. The hood's in good condition. Little rag top. Well, looks quite good, that, doesn't it? It's such simple motor in these. The triangle there doesn't smell damp. Black leather interior, that's very nice. Isn't badly worn either. Got some rubber mats here which I don't really like. I think I'll buy some new ones. Treat it to a new set. Electric windows, I've noticed, electric mirrors. And it is about to rain, so I better make this snappy. All I wanted to do really was check the oil. Before I take it for a quick blast around the village. That looks like it hasn't had one recently, to be honest. It looks quite black. No, it doesn't actually. It's my imagination. Like honey. What am I talking about? Well, there's not an awful lot of corrosion around here, is there? It all looks quite tidy. I'll have to get it up on a ramp and check the sills and check the underside of it. Make sure it isn't too rough. That's all right. Such a simple recipe, these, aren't they? Rear wheel drive, engine up front, not excessive amounts of power. So moving inside, it has done 99,200 miles. We've got heated seats. Oh, look at that. Genuinely didn't know that was there, but we've got a spare key there. That'll do, won't it? Electric windows. No aircon. That must have been an option. Do we have any history? Now, Mazda went digital with our history, so we might have some sort of print off perhaps. We've got an aftermarket, or not aftermarket, like a spurious service history book. First part of history available from Mazda, part history. Then we've got 96,000 miles, 97, front discs and pads replaced. That's good. Front brake caliper replaced. And then another one in November last year. Hertfordshire, I was right. 98,000 miles. It had spark plugs. All right, had a full service. That's good then. Very good. That means all I'll have to do then is just change the oil. Fresh oil and filter, and we should be good. So on its last MOT then, which runs out in October, the exhaust was rusty. That's the only advisory item. That's quite good. MOT and carry out oil and filter and spark plugs. That was done at 98. So I'll have to contact Mazda, clean out throttle body, mop and polish headlamps. That's why the headlamps look so good. Very good. Yeah, I'll have to contact Mazda and try and track down the early part of the history. Or is it here? Stormy blue is the colour. Didn't know that. So we've got history from 2020 onwards, so it's the 14 years prior to that. Right, what else have we got? We've got some touch-up paint. Got a new gear knob. 2 new gear knobs. You can never have too many, can you? Tyre gauge. Thought that was a thermometer then. Cup holder in the door there, on both sides. Should we fire this up then? Oh yes. Bit of Will Smith there, who I don't like. Right. Wind deflector. They're great cars, these, aren't they? They're a little bit claustrophobic inside, I won't lie, but they are great fun. Should we take this for a blast around the village then? See how she performs. Clutch bites nicely. Let me go and brave this weather to open the gate. I always forget to bring my remote fob with me. Well, I've got no warning lights on whatsoever. Wipers are good. You can tell the previous owners looked after this. It's nice and clean for a start. It smells nice and fresh. There's not an awful lot to do to it. Brakes are grinding a little bit, but with this weather, it doesn't take long to get some surface rust on there, and that will wear off with use. What's great about the MX-5 is you spend 30 seconds with it, and you've got a grin on your face like a Cheshire cat. I'm quite impressed with this. I think for once, I've got a nice cheap car here. Nobody's letting me go though. Nobody else is quite as impressed with it, are they? You ready? The old traction light came on there. I love the gearbox on these. So good, so short and snappy. Well, so far so good. I'm quite impressed with this. It drives very nicely. I'd like to test that the roof works, to be honest, but it's raining, so not exactly ideal conditions for that. It goes into gear nicely, the clutch feels good, brakes are good. And into 6th. We've got all the gears there, all the gears. I think what I'll do first then is run this down to my mechanics, get them to give it a service and an MOT, hopefully with no advisory items. While it's up on the ramp, I think I'll get them to wax oil it as well. It's one of those cars that's just prone to rust, so if I can try and keep it on the road for a few more years, then I think that's money well spent. I'm hoping £1,800 for the car, a few £100 delivery, 21 say. If I could maybe spend £400 on this, have it owe me 25, then I'm pretty sure it'd be worth 3.5 grand. Maybe 3.95 if I'm lucky. I'll have to be quick though because summer's nearly over. Although having said that, this is one of those cars that you could use on a crisp winter's morning with its heated seats. Right, well I'm very pleased with this. Thank you Saul for getting in touch, I appreciate it. Hopefully this won't take long to prepare for sale, so give me, I'll be optimistic, give me a week, give me 7 days and I'll have an update for you. Cheers guys. Well, I'm back in the old Mazda MX-5 and for once in my life, I haven't massively overspent. I know, I can't believe it either. It's been quite a pleasant process really. This has been quite an easy car to prepare for sale. After we last spoke, I took it down to my mechanic for a service and MOT, and I was praying that it wasn't rotten underneath. Older Japanese cars like this can be prone to rust, but luckily this wasn't. In fact, it sailed through its MOT, passed with flying colours. In fact, even my mechanic commented on what a nice car it was for its age. From there, then I picked it up and took it for some wheel refurbs, because if you remember, they had a few little scuff marks on them. They weren't the worst alloys I'd ever seen, but I knew I could get them looking fresher. That cost me £180 for all four, but I think it was £180 well spent. Then I took it over to a place called Keyfax in Duckingfield, who are locksmiths. They managed to make one good key out of the 2 bits of keys that I had, so this has now got 2 fully functioning keys. I know that's only a little thing, but I think it really helps when you're trying to sell a car. Then I took it to the lads over at Tameside Valeting, who did a thorough clean on it. And again, it wasn't particularly dirty, but when I picked it up, I did have a wry smile on my face because it was starting to look the part. I picked it up from there and took it back to work, where I fitted some new reg plates to it. If you remember when I bought it, it came with that private plate, R200 RDG or whatever it was. So what I decided to do was take that personalised plate off the car for a cost of £80 and then refit it with its original number. I never like to sell a car with a private plate included. I always think it's quite, well, it's quite personal for a start. I always think they look better on their original numbers. Now, you can usually do that online, but for some reason it didn't work. Instead, what I had to do was do it the old-fashioned way. So I filled in an application form, wrote a cheque, can't remember the last time I wrote a cheque, and then popped it in the post. I'm hoping in a week or so I'll have the new logbook back, and then it's ready to go to its new home. And that, ladies and gents, is about it. I photographed it this morning, and it's currently live on Auto Trader for $3,995, and I think it'll sell. It's an awful lot of car for no money, really. It's the perfect car to use on a day like today. There isn't a cloud in the sky. They're great fun to drive, these. Interestingly, this sits on my website at the exact same price as my MR2 that I massively overspent on. And I think given the choice, I'd rather have the MX-5. I know the MR2 is a little bit rarer and a little bit more unusual, but this just looks and feels a whole lot more modern. I don't actually know exactly how much I've spent on this car, but I just know it isn't an awful lot. So what I'm going to do is park up somewhere nice and I'll talk you through my costs. I'm hoping if I can sell this at $3,995, it should leave me a healthy profit, but we shall see. Right, well, here we'll do then. What a view. May as well knock the old engine off. Right, well, that's its MOT, which is currently good until the end of August next year, with no advisory items. The bill at my mechanics only cost me £138.39. That was an oil filter, oil, labour, and MOT. Bargain, really. Let me work this out then. So if you remember, I paid £1,800 for the car. The transport cost was $280, I think. It was a little bit higher than I thought. So we've got £1,800 for the car, $280 for the transport, plus $138.39 for my mechanics. We've got £180 for the wheel refurbs. We've got £50 for the replacement key, £70 for the valet. What else? Number plates. £15 for a set of plates. That takes my total to £2,533.39. So if I can get my $3,995 for it, it should leave me with a profit, pre-VAT by the way, and pre-tax, of around 1,400 quid. Good going, isn't it, for a £1,800 outlay? And it's fairly low risk because they are very reliable and it's little outlay. These are perfect deals, really. All I need to do now then is find a buyer for it. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the link below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.